Hi there, it's Karen Bentley here with the Recovery Superpower channel. Thank you for finding your way here where we revolutionize, redefine, reignite interest in the recovery process, and we do it together. That's what makes it so exciting, so creative, so innovative. So stick around. Today we're going to be talking, before we get to today, I'd like to remind you that I'm the author of this book, The Power to Stop. It's a 30-day program for ending any kind of dependency, any kind of substance abuse, or undoing any unwanted behavior. Or alternatively, it's just 30 great ideas for changing your life. And you can get it at Amazon or any bookstore, and I will put a link to it below. It's a really nice book. Check it out, please. Today we're going to be talking about why saving yourself is literal and not figurative. And I'm going to be reading to you about it from this book. And the chapter is, let's see, I lost my saving yourself is literal. Here it is. And I hope you like it. So remember the song Wasting Away Again in Margaritaville? Jimmy Buffett wrote that almost 40 years ago. Can you believe that? 40 years ago. And that song is even more popular today than it was when it was first written. And do you know why? Because Buffett has built an empire of merchandise and restaurants and bars around this whole Wasting Away Again in Margaritaville theme. It's been a real boon for him. And if you've ever gone to one of his bars, or when you hear the song, of course you sing along. You know, I'm wasting away again in Margaritaville. It's fun. And the term wasting, the reason I'm drawing it to your attention is because of the term wasting. I'm not judging Jimmy Buffett. I think he's great. But wasting is a hip term for getting drunk or getting buzzed, or, you know, just sort of having a fun night out with your friends. And, the thing that you need to know is that wasting isn't figurative. It's literal. It's very literal. And that's what I want to talk to you about. Little by little, when you waste your life, little by little, your life force dribbles away. And you have this vague feeling that maybe something isn't quite right, but you can't put your finger on it. And maybe you start not caring really too much about what happens, and there's maybe a drab quality to your life. And so that's wasting. It's this slow, persistent, subtle, and barely perceptible leakage of life force from your energy field. It's a literal leaking away of your life force. And it changes you into somebody who's preparing to be a zombie. So, interestingly, the term devil is derived from the Greek word diabolical. And diabolical means good for nothing. And as we already defined, wasting your life is good for what? It's good for nothing. So it's diabolical. And it's because wasting has no purpose. And so that means that you're acting diabolically. And it makes you feel bad about yourself. Sometimes it makes you feel very bad. And people often perceive this bad feeling as being morally bad, or being psychologically bad, maybe having some kind of deficiency. But really, the bad feeling comes from wasting your life energy, and there's no judgment of badness involved. There's no moral judgment or psychological judgment. It's a literal drain of your life force. That's what the bad feeling comes from. And the good news is that when you stop wasting your life energy, that bad feeling goes away. Just like that. It goes away just from not wasting yourself. How good is that? So the thing that's confusing is that society uses a hierarchical system for judging wasting and for tolerating wasting. And so that gets very confusing to us, to all people, not just to you, but to everybody. So for example, there are like three basic categories of wasting. There's mild wasting, There's moderate wasting. Mild wasting is often perceived as relaxing and fun, and a no-brainer. Nothing bad or wrong is going on. And then moderate wasting might be where somebody is sometimes out of control, but their life still functions more or less. Their life is functioning, even though they might be pigging out or having binge drinking or binge gambling or whatever they're doing. And extreme wasting is when, the behavior is clearly self-destructive. It's so severe that the person can't function. And then it's wrong, it's bad. And when there's no doubt about the wasting process, then we come out with our full artillery, and something, it has to be stopped. It has to be rehabbed. It has to be medicated. It has to be changed. It has to be punished. It has to be intervened. It has to be put out of sight. Otherwise, if you're an adult and maybe nobody really cares if you're wasting away or not. If you want to kill yourself by small degrees, knock yourself out. So the thing is that this degree system complicates your ability to kill yourself slowly. So you might think that, wasting away, again, in Margaritaville, as pleasurable as it might be, doesn't really matter. But even the smallest degree of wasting your life on nothing can make you feel bad about yourself, sometimes very bad. And so that's why it matters. It makes you feel bad. And you don't want to feel bad. You want to feel good. So this is really your dilemma. Should you buy into the prevalent social opinion, which says go ahead and kill yourself a little, it doesn't matter? And it's a real challenge because you don't get clear, unambiguous, uncompromising direction from our world. Every expert has a different opinion. Every study has a different result. And all you ever get is contradiction, confusion, conflict. That's why it's essential to know that wasting is not a degreed thing. You're either killing yourself or you're not. That's the only decision you need to ever learn to make. Is this a waste of my life or not? And once you can discern that clearly, you can begin to direct yourself with more purpose and more strength. Of course, for me, I would like to say unequivocally and uncompromisingly that any degree of wasting is a wish to kill yourself, and you have to stop it. So you know that life energy can be wasted, but did you also know that it can be saved? And this is the exciting part. Saving your life is the same process as saving money. So when you put money in a bank account, it accumulates and grows. And when you plug the hole where you're wasting your life energy accumulates and grows. Money is saved by not using it. Life energy is saved by not wasting it. And keeping or holding is the actual mechanical process for saving yourself. You keep it. You don't indulge it. You keep it. You don't express it. You hold it. Just like your money, you hold it. You keep it dear. And to keep your money, you accept it instead of throwing it away. And to keep your life energy, you accept it. Even though it's wild and crazy and disruptive, you accept it. You hold it. It's precious. It's yours. You keep it. And also this saving process is an accumulation. It's in a way to accumulate energy. When you save your money, it accumulates, it compounds, it grows. When you save your life energy, it accumulates, it compounds, it grows. And eventually you have this vast energy reservoir. It's invisible, but it's inside you. And it's this vast energy reservoir is known as personal power, inner strength. It's the key to making your life work, to becoming a powerful being, to getting what you want. Or in spiritual terms, it's the key to becoming a miracle worker, knowing your power, accumulating your power, expressing your power in deliberate ways. It could be the key to what happens in the next world. Who knows? But it's certainly going to work in this world. And it can also, the saving of your life energy can also be viewed as a conservation principle. So when you conserve something, you're not using it even though it's available. So land conservation is about not using or not developing land even though it's available. Energy conservation is typically about not using fossil fuels like coal or gas even though it's available. Money conservation is about not spending or cutting down your expenses even though the money is available. You don't use it. And life energy is the practice of not indulging or using the energy that's contained in your wasteful behavior. Even though that energy is available, you don't use it. You hang on to it. You become powerful. You become a brujo. You can do things. How good is that? And you feel good about yourself. The minute you start plugging that hole, you feel good about yourself. It has nothing to do with psychology. It has nothing to do with judgment. It has nothing to do with goodness or badness. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with your plugging the holes where your energy is literally draining away. And you can do that easily now, today. So conservation is an important practical survival strategy, and it's an important spiritual survival strategy if that's relevant to you. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'd like to leave you with a couple of personal stories. I vividly remember a PBS documentary about how bison survived in Yellowstone through the harshest, most treacherous winter conditions. And a crew of people went out to document how they did this. And, there was lots of people around, and the bison just did their thing. They really didn't pay any attention to the photographers or the directors or anybody else who was hanging around, watching them struggle through winter. They huddled together, hundreds of them, huddled together to conserve their body heat. And even though there was people around doing things, taking pictures, directing, driving cars, whatever they're doing, these bison didn't move. They stayed perfectly still. They didn't wag a tail. They didn't lift their heads. I couldn't see this, but I don't think they blinked their eyes. They took all the energy they had and they put it into surviving, into conserving that life force. And they did it by doing nothing. Nothing. That's what you need to know. I also had the same observation experience. My late husband and I were privileged enough to travel around the world, and we went to many poverty-stricken countries. And when you go to a poverty-stricken country, you see emaciated dogs, hundreds of them everywhere. And when you observe these emaciated dogs, what you observe is that they do nothing. They are busy conserving their life energy. Every bit of life energy they have to stay alive. They don't wag their tails. They don't greet you. They don't look at you. They don't do anything. They're too busy staying alive, doing nothing. And that's what you're going to do too. You're going to do nothing to stay alive, to conserve your life energy, to become personally powerful, to become a brujo, to make yourself happy. It's so easy. Plug that hole where your energy is draining away. It's easy, easy peasy. We're going to spend other video programs together learning techniques for plugging that hole, for learning stillness, for being calm even though you're triggered, even though, you have stimulations all around you. There's ways to do this. It's not as hard as you think. Come back. I hope you will. In the meantime, remember that your salvation is literal, not figurative. It depends on the conservation of your own life energy, like those bison, like those emaciated dogs. And all of the techniques that you're going to be learning here are about containing or not using the energy that's inside your unwanted behavior or disruptive behavior. It's right there waiting for you to mine. And so salvation is the ordinary, everyday practice of containing that energy, storing it, and using it in a more purposeful, deliberate way. So it's not an abstract concept. And only you can save yourself, because only you can decide what you're going to do with that life energy. It's like push-ups. Nobody can do your push-ups for you. Nobody can save your life energy for you either. You have to save it for yourself. But come back here and learn some techniques for doing it. And have fun while you're at it. And make yourself happy while you're at it. The minute you start plugging that hole, you're immediately happy. Just like that. That's how it happens. Just like that. So if you like this content, hey, please consider smashing that like button. If you really liked it, subscribe. And I would love to hear your comments. Let's have a conversation. I will answer you. And until the next time, bye for now. Hey, don't forget my book. Bye for now.